Have you ever felt uncomfortable to connect sexually with someone else? Or maybe even just with yourself? Maybe you feel uncomfortable even in your own skin. Or maybe you're experiencing some more extreme type of sexual dysfunction, sexual challenge. In this video, I'm going to be sharing about how all sexual imbalances can be traced back to the origin of being socialized out of our erotic intelligence, and why that matters and how to reconnect. So my name is Haley Friend Wilson, and I am a certified embodiment and somatic sexuality guide, helping people to experience a more liberated expression of their creativity, sexuality, and vitality. So first of all, why would somebody care to reconnect with their sexual energy? So our sexual energy is our primordial life force energy that affects all other aspects of our life. And that when we are disconnected from this energy, it impacts us greatly in all other aspects of our life. So erotic energy is just life force energy. As children, we are innately connected to this primordial life force energy. What does this mean? And how do we become disconnected? So we are connected in that we are connected to our bodies. We're connected to our impulses, to our natural impulses. So if you watch babies, they cry when they need to cry. They eat when they need to eat. They reach out for a hug when they need a hug. They explore and they touch themselves and they pleasure themselves and they find joy in discovering their bodies. And they don't feel shame about touching their genitals. They don't feel shame about crying. They don't feel shame about eating. These innate impulses and ways that babies and children are connected to life is part of Eros, is part of erotic energy. And babies, children become socialized out of that for being shamed for touching their genitals, for being shamed for crying. Don't cry. Don't express your feelings. For being made to sit still. That was me. Sit in a desk. Be quiet. Don't move. Don't get up. That was really hard for me. And it disconnected me from my body. It disconnected me from my life force energy, also known as erotic energy. And so we become slowly disconnected from our body, from our innate impulses to explore our bodies, to express pleasure, to be alive, to be connected to life. And so little by little, that causes us to distrust our bodies, to actually distrust the impulses of our bodies. And so then when it comes time to maybe have a sexual encounter with someone else, there can be this feeling of discomfort because we've been socialized out of being comfortable in our bodies. We've been socialized out of being comfortable with the energy of turn on or erotic life force flowing through us. And so then you add on top of that experiences of sexual trauma, abuse, or maybe just being touched in a way that was not consensual. All of this further confuses us and confuses the psyche because we're told that we're not supposed to be sexual. Sexuality is bad, shameful, and wrong. And even more if you grew up in a religion that told you that sexuality was bad, shameful, and wrong. And then maybe there's some kind of experience where you're touched non-consensually or some abuse or trauma happens that then further confuses the psyche, the body, the self of this thing that I'm not supposed to want or have or express, but then is forced upon me, or maybe it was forced upon you in a movie or media or different ways that it's presented. So then we become very confused in our psyche, in our body about this life force energy, erotic energy, sexual energy. I'm using these interchangeably because they're all connected. It's all different ways of talking about the same thing. And so then in adulthood, we arrive to a place where maybe we're having pain with sex, or erections aren't happening, or early ejaculation is happening, or dryness is happening, or maybe just mountains of shame, or maybe there's no sensation of turn on in the body. Any other kind of sexual imbalance has its roots from this place of being socialized out of our erotic intelligence, and then on top of that, having any kind of negative experience sexually. So the good news is you can reconnect to this energy because it is innate inside of us. Our erotic intelligence is connected to our unique essence of being alive. You cannot disconnect ultimately from the roots of this aliveness inside of us because it is innate to humanity. So we can reconnect to it. And I want to just share at this point in the video that everything that I'm sharing about within this topic, it is coming from the research method of the Embodied PyschoSexual Method that was created by Dr. Saida Desilets. This is a research method that has been proven effective at helping people to overcome all kinds of sexual dysfunction, challenge, blocks, cultivate pleasure, embody sexual sovereignty. I'm a trained ambassador of this methodology, and so I'm speaking on these topics from this methodology. So one of the things that my mentor and teacher, Dr. Saida Desilets, speaks about within this is that each person has a unique erotic blueprint, a unique erotic fingerprint. And that is the thing that is unique to you, the unique ways that you become turned on to life, that make you feel alive, that make you feel connected to life. And so in order to turn that back on, we have to first move through the shame, the pain, the shutdown, because that is what's blocking us from feeling the natural arousal, turn on, connection, function of our body. And so the quickest and easiest way, not necessarily easiest because it takes work, but quickest and most effective way to move through the pain body, the shame, the shutdown is somatically. So what does that mean? Somatic means body, breath, movement, sound, visualization, earth-body connection. So engaging with the parts within our body that feel shut down, the hips, the genitals, all of this region, letting movement, breath, visualization, sound come into this area of the body and begin to express. This is something that I guide people in the other methodology that I'm trained in of the deep body model. But there's a lot of different somatic methodologies out there where you can start to begin to allow the body to express the shame, the shutdown. And once we have moved through these layers of shutdown and pain, it automatically sparks our aliveness. Because if you think about it, the shame, the shutdown, the pain becomes held in the tissues of our body, and that actually holds our life force energy. It contracts our life force energy. And so then it's like that energy is stuck there. And this is my personal experience from moving through shame and trauma in my body. Eventually, by moving it, by sounding it, by feeling the feelings, feeling the pain, raging, crying, screaming, that energy becomes liberated, and we can direct it towards what we want, towards what we would love, towards cultivating pleasure in the body, leaning into pleasure. And so this is a journey that you can take to begin to reconnect to this energy inside of you. And in future videos, I'm going to be talking about exactly how to do that, how to reconnect, how to come back into connection. But in this video, I just wanted to explain how it's important to understand that we've been socialized collectively out of this connection. Because a lot of times, if you are experiencing discomfort in your body, if you are experiencing shame, pain with sex, things not working, there can oftentimes begin to be a belief that I'm broken, that something inside of me is broken, and that I can never be fixed. So it's basically beginning to internalize this repression that we've been socialized into. And so it's important to understand, no, actually, I've been socialized out of my innate erotic connection to my body and to life. And the beautiful thing is that connection to life, that connection to my body, that connection to my sexuality is innate. And so basically, I just need to deprogram, shed that from my being, from my psyche, and also from my body. And then if there has been some kind of sexual trauma, go into allowing the grief, the pain, the rage to also be expressed about whatever it was that happened, because that has to happen. We've got to go through. You've got to feel to heal. And so then going through that process then allows us to then rediscover our sexuality, rediscover our erotic innocence. Because as you see with babies, when they're touching themselves, when they're playing, when they're connecting with their body, there's an innocence to it. Eros is innocent. It is the essence of life. All of life, it makes love. Flowers make love. Birds make love. Trees make love. There's an innocence to it. It's innate to life. And we've just been socialized and programmed to believe that it's something dirty, bad, shameful, wrong. But no, it's innocent. It's an innocent, innate essence of being human, of being alive, of any life, is for making love to happen, sex to happen, erotic energy to happen and to flow through us. And so there's a lot of really beautiful ways to begin to turn that energy back on that I will go into in future videos. So, in closing, if you are experiencing any kind of discomfort with your body, with your sexuality, it's not your fault. You're not broken. And there are reasons for this. You've been programmed out of your innate erotic intelligence and connection to your body, connection to your sexuality. You can reconnect to that. The most efficient way to move through the shutdown, pain, breakdown is somatically in the body. And if you want to, one thing that you can take with you today that you can do is to just begin to write down your beliefs that you have formulated from your culture, from your religion, from your upbringing about sexuality. And begin to feel into your body, feel into your connection with your hips, with your genitals. Can you feel there? Can you sense this area of your body? And then just begin to do some stretches and breathing and sounding into this area of your body, directing sound inside with an O, like a ooh, where you're imagining that you're actually sounding inside. The sound is going inside and vibrating into your hips, into your whole pelvic bowl while you explore. On all fours is a great position to do this. Just breathing, moving, undulating, sounding into your hips, beginning to get some movement into there. If feelings come up, let the feelings come. This is a way you can start to dip your toe in. Again, I do recommend, if you have had sexual trauma, to be working with a practitioner, with somebody that can support you, can guide you into this work. It can be a lot to sift through on your own. And I also do recommend individual practice. So this is something you can begin to open the doorway and then find resources, find support for yourself to go deeper. Thank you so much for taking this in. In my next video, I will be going into how to transform sexual dysfunction, sexual challenge using the Embodied PyschoSexual Method. Thank you again for being here. If you want more short form content, you can follow me on Creativity as Love. Also, a lot of other ways to connect with me. Links are down below. You can get a free embodiment meditation. I want to acknowledge that I'm recording this video on the indigenous land of the Desilets, Modoc, and Takelma people. It is my hope in naming this that there can be more support for the Land Back movement. Again, thank you so much for being here, and wishing a lot of blessings to you and your body and coming home to your body.